I'm sure there wasn't a dry eye here. There probably are questions, but I just wanted to lead with, something that struck me every time I watch it. You say, I'm looking for my house, and you don't say, I'm looking for my home. So, was it really a transition that you felt throughout, where you say, in the end, I was happy, I found, whether it was a wall or a building, but that's what gave you this sense of belonging and home, I guess, which is something we're going to be discussing. But could you just reflect a bit about that?
I think actually when it started, I was looking for something physical, something that I could, a house, yeah, which I had no memories of, so I don't know if I could call it home, but I knew it is home, but it, like you said, the transition took a while. So initially it just started with a search to just look for something physical. What did it look like? It was at a very, I didn't really dig deeper into it, but of course, by the end of making this film and the whole process and everything that happened personally, and even while making the film on the edit table, a lot of things, I think I was totally transformed and into, knowing that will always be home, whether I'm there or not. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's actually a beautiful use also of personal memories, archives, and what a treasure, of the photographs and the videos of the shadi and all of that, and put together so skillfully. So, congrats once again.
Thank you.
I'd like to open it out now. I think we have about 7 to 8 minutes.
I mean, I don't know how you will be taking it now when you are watching this and reflecting on.
I don't watch it.
Yeah.
I always leave because I also get very emotional. And in general, with stories of home, I get a bit emotional myself, so I avoid it.
Yeah, as ma'am said, the archival footage, whatever you used, is tremendous. Back then, when I mean, we don't have our memories through video, but you have some footage, like a video footage, with you. Such a beautiful film.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was also very lucky to find it. For 2 years, I was looking for some. I had some photographs, but they were not of. I didn't have many of my home. It was my extended family and their pictures, which also, of course, I've used. But I just got lucky with that cousin's phone call and said that her husband had some photo.
Oh, okay.
So I think everything just
That's
happened
like
for the film.
stars aligning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I truly believe that.
Yeah.
It just happened.
The editing was fantastic.
Yes, my editor, I wish she was here. I have truly learned everything about. I mean, editors on a documentary are gods, really. They really, because, in fact, my editor, Khushbu, she's not here, but she really pushed me to come on, use my own voice for the film. I had no plans of doing that. In fact, putting myself on. So I think she really pushed me to throw away, on my inhibitions and say the film as honestly as I had put it on paper, So every word, voiceover is something I was just in my notes all the time, and I didn't know how to put it. But she said, "This is your own, more than your sister's search. This is your search." So
Yeah.
And the film got made on the edit table. I truly, that's what happened for me.
Yeah.
When you were watching the movie while it was being edited, what were the emotions you were going through? For example, seeing your family experiencing different emotions at the time and losing your father in between, like it makes you go through different kind of emotions. So I just have a question that what you went through.
So I actually stopped editing for good 7-8 months. I didn't go back to it, but but I think that is, I came back to it because I wanted to tell this story, and there were times when I would break down, but there were also times when I just had I was looking at it, like this is a story and I need to tell it and I need to get it done. It was hard, but I also don't know now how I did it. But I think when you just put your mind to something that you definitely want to put it out there, it just happened. So, but yeah, there were days when I didn't feel like watching it, but there were days when I was only looking forward to doing this. So yeah.
Another question I have, so it is related to finding home itself. So, for example, in the movie, you say that you didn't find anything tangible, like not a door, not a wall. But can you say that even metaphorically, you found home? Or are you at peace with the emotion that you are in home?
No, I don't think I am at. It's not like a closure or anything has happened, but I think I'm on that path now. Initially, I don't think it can be a closure because how do I say, to some extent, I think tangible is also important in that sense because I'm not there yet, but I've found a lot of things in this process. I'm much closer to my identity, my roots, people, the land. So in a lot of other ways, I'm closer to my home, you know.
Thank you for taking us on this journey with you, and also the homecoming that happened. I mean, it was a tough one, I'm sure. My only question is, of course, a little bit of what prompted you to make this film has come through. But is that the end? Because if it prompted you to make this film and you went into so much of difficulty, so much of course, tearful memories, and then finding out at least one piece of that memory was a moment of happiness.
Yeah.
But after that, because we had just been to Kashmir and to the Kupwara part of it, Kupwara and the areas where there was usually a lot of problems also. This was made, I think, in the period, and the people there also expressed the fact that 7 years ago, from 7 years, we have witnessed a sense of peace. And they are so open and so hospitable and so full of no grudge at all. Just the feeling that they want peace. And they are very openly talking about peace, and both sides, I mean, whether it's the Kashmiri Pandits, whether it's the people from Jammu, or whether it's the people from Kashmir, they're talking as one. So I just wanted to know in the way you have made this film, and we saw also some bit of the relationships that are there. And so the relationships that still exist for you also when you went back, and the lady who said my brother passed away, and the warm welcome that was there and the memories that were there. So how can this, I mean, do you think that this will be used for can be used for any further discussions of, which is much needed today? Because there are a lot of myths being spread about the people of Kashmir or about about Jammu. So do you see any possibility of using this as a...
I feel since this film has been screened and a lot of Kashmiris, especially when I had screenings in Delhi, and there were a lot of Kashmiri Muslims in the audience, and there were a lot of Kashmiri Pandits. But there was a sense of, I don't know, it was, of course it's always emotional, you know, but I think they look at, and I can say only for myself, the struggle of being in exile for Kashmiri Pandits, I don't think it was rather discussed a lot, and every time I tried to do that way before making this film was not really, we didn't have a voice, or it was something that I also could not articulate and put together. But after this film, I think there's a conversation that has opened up, because I can see that in a lot of messages from people, and especially the younger Kashmiris. I think it's just a start. It's a huge thing what you're saying. It will take a lot of time, but I'm hoping that this is at least a small part of that.
I don't know if this might be a little controversial question. While watching the while watching the documentary, I was getting this thought in my mind, and the previous question made me ask you this. How do you relate this with Kashmir Files?
I'm so sorry, but I'm not going to answer that because I want to talk about my film.
Yeah,
so
yeah, I know. I mean, do
don't-
you feel what they've shown in that is true, or it is true, but is it too?
You answered it. It is true, but I think every filmmaker, every film has an intention, and I think that will always show in your film. So,
Okay.
you know what I mean? So, yeah, I rather not talk about
Yeah.
You know, the intention of that film is really to polarize and create further fractures, whereas the intention of this film is more in terms of reconciliation and making peace with oneself and the community. And I think that's what comes through very clearly. Yeah. And it's probably why the polarizing film is busy all over getting awards and all of it, because that's a reflection of the times we're living in, really.
Thank you for the film. I had a question about community and just how your notion of community has changed or has expanded or, I guess, evolved through the whole process of making the film. I know you had the Facebook page you talked about in the film, and you've also done a lot of research, talked to different people, but I'm just curious as to how community has changed for you through this whole process.
Oh, I think I'm just a part of a larger, stronger community now. In that sense, I was I don't know if it's said in the film that while growing up, I really did not have much connection to my roots, or it's something that I never explored while growing up. But with that one trip, a lot of things change, and as you dig deeper, you find your own people, and you find that a lot of people wanted to share the same story. I'm not the only one who's gone through this, even if they're not from the community. There are a lot of exiled communities, and my intent with this film has been to reach out. I mean, people should have empathy for displaced communities and people, and look at them with empathy, whether they're Pandits, whether they're any other exiled communities. So I think it's not just the Kashmiri Pandit community that I relate to anymore. It's much larger, especially with what's happening in the world and so many people getting displaced. I mean, this.
So mine is not actually a question. What was really beautiful was the fact that there was very little of bitterness or anger, which I think enriched, because we all felt we were part of your family, which we are. But what was also lovely was, I think the whole world is just waiting to heal or connect. It's not just you seeking, even the others who are there, who are left behind, they're actually waiting too for the bridge to happen. All these years, just as you were aching for getting back, I think they were waiting for someone to also come. So the homecoming was not just for you. I think it's for a lot of people who are waiting for those who've left to also come back. And not just this place. I think that's the mood of the world right now. That everybody is waiting for some step, some action for the bridge to build. And it's quite beautiful.
I really had a different perception about whatever is shown about Kashmiri Pandits and all. But honestly speaking, after watching this, it's like very wholesome to understand my truly perceptions have been changed.
Thank you. And that is also, it's a struggle, it was rather a struggle for me also to break this perception. Break it in the sense, at least hear me out and hear my family's story, So I know where you're coming from, but I'm glad it changed it in some way.
Thank you for making it like this.
Thank you. My sister is also here, who's in the film.
I'm the middle sister who was talking about the train, basically. The film,
Can I say that it's the first time she's watching it,
Yeah.
the full film. She's always seen
because
parts.
it's just too emotional. Every time I start, wherever she has had screenings, last time it was in Bangalore International Center, I served Kehwa there. I was so busy there. Then I just didn't have guts to watch it because it's just too emotional. My dad isn't there anymore, who was our buddy, and it's because it reminds me a lot about Kashmir. It brings back that nostalgia, that memories, and the painful exile that we went through. So many people did ask so many questions, and I think she was too emotional to answer so many of them. But the movie has, I'm just proud of her. Like, she made something beautiful. There have been many movies, I think, ever since we left about Kashmir. But I think very few or handful of people have talked about, maybe not talked about, showcased true emotions. It's not about money-making thing. It's her own emotions she's put out there, our feelings, and the way she has connected dots from each and every angle. I think that's quite nice. Plus, this is like literally the first time I'm actually checking her skills out, so it's pretty good. Yeah.